I put them up here, and I'm going to start with those to make sure we all understand, because I know sometimes at the end of class it gets a little bit crazy. So here we go again. When we solve an inequality, and it ends up having adding and subtracting. For example, I'll just do a quick and simple one. X plus 4 is greater than, how about 10? In order to solve this, I simply subtract 4 from both sides. Because the operation that I'm doing is subtracting, I don't actually have to change it, and therefore x is greater than 6. All right. Now, what we were looking on today was that multiplying and dividing when you were filling out those tables. Here's what you should have come away with, is if you have to divide or multiply, and both sides, which we know when we solve we want to do that anyways, by a negative number, then the direction of the inequality must change. For example, if I have a negative 3x is greater than, how about 12? If I want to solve this, again, you could do the wall down here. I didn't do it on the first one, but that's okay. These ones are very short. In order to solve this problem, I would divide both sides. So that's where the both sides come from, a negative 3. And then here's the crazy thing. X, whoops, the symbol switches, is less than a negative 4. Let me just highlight the two differences. Here, they saved and it was the same direction right here, ends up switching. Now, both of these are rules, or yeah, I guess they are called a rule. If you don't want to memorize those, you can simply use logic as well. For example, for the second one, I know that negative 4 is going to be a turning point right here. I know that it's going to be an open circle. In order to decide whether or not it works, I go back to the original equation. Negative 3x is greater than 12. And I asked myself, let me put a 0 here and a negative 8 on this side. I asked myself, I'll do this in green, so open circle because it was less than or greater than, is, let's see, is 0 going to be a solution? Let's put 0 back in for x. Negative 3 times 0, is that greater than 12? And the answer is no. So 0 is not a solution, and therefore my arrow goes to the left. Now from this green piece, you'd be able to then justify, okay, therefore my answer must be less than negative 4. And I wouldn't have even had to remember any of these rules over here. You can just simply use logic. All right. Hopefully then, at some point during all of this, you've paused this and you've copied this down into your MJ. Because all this blue stuff is a lot of writing, but it's going to be pretty crucial perhaps to have in your MJ so that you can have that during your quizzes and tests. Let's do an example so that you're ready for tomorrow. I'm going to do something funky such as y divided by negative 6 plus 7 is less than, 7 is less than 9. Okay, I am going to draw my wall on this one just because I like to keep things simple. Now, unlike the ones we just did on the other side, these were just one step. There's one step we had to do in order to solve it. On this one, we're going to be combining 2 steps and using both of our rules here. I'm going to solve it using the rules, and you can decide whether or not you like it, or you can just solve for y and then substitute in using that graphing. Okay, so like we would normally do, I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. If we remember from our previous page 5 seconds ago that when you are adding or subtracting, there's no change to the symbol. So I still have y divided by a negative 6 is less than 2. Okay. Now, I'm going to keep on going. In order to get rid of this divided by -6, I'm going to multiply by -6, just like we would do for a regular equation. And I'll multiply by -6. This was our rule from today, and we found out that if you have to divide or multiply both sides by a negative number, like we did here with the 3, then the direction will change. Therefore, since I multiplied by a -6, watch what happens to my inequality. I'm left with just y on this side, and I'm going to flip it is greater than a -12. Let's see. Again, if you wanted to, you could officially graph it. I'll do it in black if it makes more sense for you. I solved it. I know that the 12 right here, -12, I'm going to put a 0. You need 3 numbers on your number line. And I think to myself, logically, I know that this is going to be an open circle. I want to find out whether all my solutions are going right or whether all of them are going left. I like to use 0. Why? Anyone? Oh, because it's easy. So I take this 0 and let's put it in and see. ... Ran out of room. ... Keep going. Put it right in this direction. Now, here's the tough part. Any number divided, or 0 divided by any number is going to end up being 0. So I have 0 plus 7 is 7 less than 9? And the answer is yes. So yay! 0 is a solution, and therefore we want to include it going this direction. From there, I would know that x then has to be greater than, whoops, sorry, I'm going different variables. We're doing y. Y has to be greater than a -12, which is what we got when we solved it using the rules. I would be comfortable with both ways in doing this, but in the long run, decide which way works best for you and then go from there. If you still have questions on any of this, I would definitely go to Big Ideas, and you can look on, let's see, these are lessons. It's easier to just type it. Lesson 3.3, well, 3.2 to 3.4, if you have questions about that. Otherwise, have a great evening.